Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Wonderfully Hopeless podcast. My name is Charity. It is April 5th, 2021, and it is almost 8 o'clock at night. A little different from my normal filming schedule. However, I've been crazy busy. We've been doing a lot of yard work, holiday, so I cooked this weekend. I had family obligations, so very busy the last few weeks. But I have been getting some crafting done. So, what have I been crafting? Well, it's been a while since I've done my cross stitch, but I got to this point with my All-American Santa, so I need to get back to my cross stitch, but I honestly, by the time I get done with the chores and the yard work and with everything going on in my life, knitting is easier for me to do quite often. So cross stitch gets done as and when I can. And that's just the way it is right now. Knitting is very convenient. I can take it with me. I can put it down easily. Cross stitch isn't always like that. The stop and go just kind of messes with me, so I have not been doing as much cross stitch, but I have done some. So I worked on that one, and then I've really been enjoying, when I get time to work on it, my Haid. This is Sea Monkeys, so it's a Hannah Lynn. So every time I hit the record button, I have the yawn. So I have gotten a lot done. Again, I had a good, well, I had spring break a couple weeks ago. So I have to do a lot of stitching over spring break, or more stitching over spring break. But I also got a lot of knitting done. So let's just start with what's out right now. So, put in a few rows, as you can see from the stitch markers. So this is where I'm at, and this is where I was. I haven't done a lot. This project has taken a back seat. Obviously, it has to get done before next winter, but it's spring. My husband doesn't need it right now. So while I want to finish this one, start a hat and a cowl for myself, so I have a fair bit of this, it's not a priority project right now. Excuse me. So this is the sockhead cowl. I've already finished the sockhead hat for him, and like I said, I have plans to do this for me. This is out of a Knit Picks. I have the yarn here, so it's a Hawthorn fingering in macadamium. He picked the color, and it's doing some interesting pooling, so it's just a really easy knit. But I have a couple easy knits right now, and like I said, this is just not as high on the priority list because I don't need it for a while. So I'm trying to pick it back up and get it into rotation, but it's not that high of a priority. I cast on and started a pair of socks, and I'm halfway through, so that is always awesome. So I am doing a set of Rose City rollers for one of my sister-in-laws. So this is not my preferred method of socks, so I hate having to do the traditional heel flap and gusset. However, she has very peculiar feet, and so I am trying just a traditional, she likes a shorty, so that works out great, sock. So for her, so I've knit her several pairs of socks, and they never fit quite right. So I'm hoping this will work. My knitting has gotten better over the last couple years, and my sock show has been pretty good. So, first one's done, and the second one, I actually had to spend quite a bit of time in the hospital today, not for myself. But anyway, I was waiting around in the hospital for quite some time. So I managed to do the heel flap, the turn, and I've picked up the stitches. So this is a project that I am continuing. This sees a lot of work. So for me to finish, I think this took me 2 weeks. That's pretty good time for me. So I'm hoping to have this done by the end of the month. So that is my goal. Nope. Put the other sock back. I'm sorry. It is almost my bedtime. So, and this is a Regia Floromania color. So I love this color. I will have yarn left over and will probably make myself a set. I will not hand knit mine. Mine will go on the sock machine. So, but we'll get to the sock machine in a little bit. Alright, so there's that one. Next project. I have a basket full of projects. Alright. Next up is another project that has seen a lot of work. So, as you can see, it is doing great. Help if I turn it the right way. Alright. So this is the hug shot. As you can see, there's the last time I showed it. And I'm all the way up here. I've gotten a lot of work done on it. Completely enjoying it. It is fairly mindless. I do have to pay attention to it. It's not overly complicated. So it does see some attention. I worked on it a bit today as well at the hospital. And I spent, after I got home, got all my chores done for the day, I spent a little time sitting outside enjoying the beautiful spring weather and knit. So that was nice. Next project. Alright, this is another new start. I cast on, or no, not a new start. Ha! There's Progress Keeper that tells me I showed it. Alright, so this is the one row crescent. This is another super simple project. I love this yarn. Oh my god, I love this yarn. And so I haven't done a ton of progress, but the socks have been taking up the majority of my time. So I also am super stoked. My mom is trying to learn this pattern. She is a super tight knitter, and so she is struggling a little bit with her tension. So she is learning this pattern. So she actually was here last night, and she was practicing in cotton because the acrylic I gave her, she was knitting it too tight, so she was trying in cotton, because normally all my mom does is knit washcloths, and she wants to learn to knit other things. So I thought this was a simple project, but she's way too tight, And after like 3 rows, it's impossible to knit because her knitting's so tight. The problem is, I'm left-handed and she's right-handed, and we have tried this in the past where she has taught me crafting. Like, I learned how to crochet from my mom-ish. So she would show me how to do it right-handed, and then I'd have to figure it out how to make that work as a left-handed person. And this was when I was very little. So I know how hard it is to go from right to left, and she's trying to go from left to right. Thankfully, she already knows the stitches. She's just trying to figure out, and I'm not sure how to help her because she knits washcloths. She knits beautiful washcloths. She's not doing any new stitches. It's knit and yarn over. That's all it is. But she's having difficulties, so we're working on it. Matter of fact, I have some of her washcloths that I need to weave in the ends. But mine don't come out this nice. She does a great job. So she'll get it. She's very determined. It also does not help that she's a perfectionist. And I'm not. Alright. Last project. It's not seeing a ton of time, but it is seeing some. So my husband wants another pair of socks. So I got out the sock machine and I put I did several snakes. So this is one of the ones I did, and this is Time Traveler. It's a Felici Knit Picks yarn, and then I am using a Regia for the cuff, heels, and toes. So again, I'm trying to finish my sister-in-law's, but I've done a little bit of work on my husband's, and this is my preferred way to do socks. So this is what I like to do, and what I just use. I have a 3D printed sock machine. I don't have anything fancy. I printed it myself. I set it up. It's right over there on the other side of the room. You guys can't see it, unfortunately. But I made up a whole bunch of tubes. What have I got in here? So I keep a bin, and eventually they go from the bin into my knitting bag, and they get knit up. So this one is not big enough for a pair of socks. However, this is enough that I can make some yarn cozies. So this will get made into yarn cozies. This one I can get a pair of shorties out of. So, and that is a Vanna's Choice. And I really like this colorway. So I am probably going to do that for me. So there's that. I need to cut that yarn before that becomes a mess. So there's that tube. And then I don't remember what this yarn was, but there is obviously enough for a pair of socks out of this. This was a random yarn my sister-in-law found, and sent me. So there's that one. And then this is Punch Bug, and this is a Knit Picks Felici yarn. So really like this one. This is a Patons Croix. I really like that one. And I can actually get a pair for me out of here, or it's not quite enough to get a pair for my husband. And I'm probably going to do this colorway for my husband. And I'm pretty sure I have a second skein of it, or second bulb, because, you know, they're 50 grams. But I love this striping, so there's that one. I don't remember what this is, but it's got kind of a gold pattern. And then another Knit Picks. This is for my husband. And then this is what I had left over from my Sea Swept shawl. And so these will be a pair of socks for me, and maybe even a wrist warmer. I haven't decided because I don't like super long socks, but I'm going to actually see how long this is if I just make a regular size pair of socks. So, because this is, so I can't think of that size, but if I do this, you know, I might be able to handle that as a sock, so we'll see. And then I have another on the machine, but I only kick up a few, but I like to leave the machine set up so that when I'm ready, it's easy to just go. So I have enough socks for a while, but my husband has decided that he loves my hand knit socks. It took him a while, and it does help that I have a sock machine now, and he's getting to where he's open to more colors. Before, he only wanted black, gray, those colors. It's not super fun to work with. So those are my projects. I have a couple that are in the wings. So I think it was raspberry cordial that I kitted up, and beautiful spring project, and that's what I'm going to do it out of. So when I get, I'm just kind of so honestly, I have enough projects right now. However, I have kind of come to the conclusion that I live a chaotic and crazy life, and I need to have a little bit more grace with myself. Knitting and cross stitch, my crafting brings me some comfort. And while I do not like too many projects on the go, and right now I'm a little, well, so my problem is I have too many simple projects and not anything challenging, and I usually have a better mix. Socks are not challenging for me at this point unless there's a pattern. I do have those, but I haven't worked on them in ages. And they're actually in my work bag, but again, I haven't worked on them. So the two shawls I have on the go are simple. One's more simple than the other, but they're simple. I have a plethora of simple projects, and I don't have a challenging project. I have several challenging projects that I'm ready to start, but I haven't felt the urge to start, nor have I felt the urge to make up my mind on which one. So I haven't. So I have plenty of things. I'm feeling the need for a more complicated design, but at the same time, I don't have a lot of headspace for more complicated designs. So for the most part, I alternate between what I have, and I'm pretty happy with that. But when you're messing up a 2x2 rib, you probably don't need much more complicated than a 2x2 rib. But sometimes I get bored with the 2x2 rib. And so, yeah. But my focus right now is to finish the socks and to finish Hugshot, because I do have several projects after Hugshot that I want to start. So I have Breath and Hope kitted. I started it and then I didn't like the way it was looking out, so I ripped it out. And last year, before I moved, I had made the decision that I really needed to start paring down the whips. I have too many cross stitch projects, let alone have so many knitting projects on top of that. So I have really been trying to finish more projects than I start for all of my crafts. And obviously I have not been starting to cross stitch. Every time I get the urge, I pick up a different project or I restart something that I have in the restart pile. So that's what I've been doing with that. I actually have come to a few realizations. I am not going to be doing Hades unless it is on Easy Count from now on. So I bought a couple pieces of Easy Count. I do want to start one particular project, and I want to restart a Hade that I had started in full cross and I didn't like it, and I think I started it on 18 count, and that I'm just not enjoying it. I really enjoy 25 count. 2/1, I don't really want to deal with it, but at the same time, I don't want to deal with having to grid fabric. And Pattern Keeper has made my stitching life so much better. Matter of fact, I have a hard time trying to stitch on my non-Hade projects because I like Pattern Keeper so much, and I hate having to deal with patterns that aren't in Pattern Keeper and don't port well into Pattern Keeper. It's fiddly to try and use patterns, PDFs into Pattern Keeper, and when you're trying to do like a picture of a pattern, which I do not mark up my original patterns. I have always made working copies because I learned very young that marking up your pattern meant trying to figure out backstitch was not fun. So I am very particular about how I do that and to make sure that I have the ability to do my backstitch. So that being said, yeah, I just don't do a lot of it. Just it is what it is. I actually that Santa is not a hard project, but it's tedious, and I have some other projects that I love. I know I'm gonna love, but I don't want to stitch them because they're not Hades and not in Pattern Keeper. I've got a couple Mirabilias. And some other designers, and I just gotta say, designers need to get on the Pattern Keeper. I was so excited that I can get ink circles, and you know, for some patterns I'm gonna rebuy them if I can get them on Pattern Keeper, and that's probably gonna be a big thing from now on for stitching for me. So yeah, I'm not gonna rattle on too much. I'm back to where I started hybrid learning, so work is busy. We have what, 7 weeks until the end of the semester. Being a homeowner, and let us just say 2021 has not started very well. I mean, It definitely could be worse, but it's been a very challenging year. Very challenging year. And we're in April. But so far, the hits keep coming, and I'm rolling with them, so that's always a good thing. And we'll just see where it goes from there. I got a busy summer ahead of me, so I'm already it's April and I'm already worried about the summer. Oh, but I should be able to get some downtime, which will be nice. Um, so yeah. So I hope everybody is having a great week, and I hope I will talk to you again in a couple weeks. I'll probably talk to you when I have a little bit more progress. I've been thinking about changing my filming schedule just because I don't get that much crafting done. And instead of once a week or once every other week, it might be better to do once a month. But for now, it's going to be when I have time and the energy to do a video. It's not my, I don't think since I started teaching, I have had a good flow for doing my videos and my crafting, but first year teacher and then just life. So, yeah, life seems to be a problem. It gets in the way of crafting. What are you going to do? All right, guys, I hope you have a great day. Thank you for watching, and I will talk to you later. Bye.